Hey, what's up? Good morning, Emilie here. I am going to VisTech today. I'm going to buy a new microphone. After that this afternoon, I plan on going outside. I'm going to show you how to shoot in harsh light. That'll be part 2 of the vlog series I started last week, so be excited for that. Okay, enough lazing around. I'm going to VisTech. Let's go. I'm not gonna vlog while driving. That's too dangerous. Okay guys, I'm back. I went to VisTech. I didn't actually end up buying the mic that I wanted at VisTech. Unfortunately, it's back ordered because it's so cool. It's the new Rode VideoMic Pro Plus. But I did end up renting the Pro version just so I could have it for the next couple days for these coming videos. So I'm gonna be heading outside. It's super windy, so I'm really happy I have this Rode mic on my camera so we don't end up like the last video. Not prepared for this. It wasn't supposed to be this cold. I'm gonna go inside, I'm gonna have a snack because I'm starving, and then I'll see you in the forest. Okay, before we get started, let's just address why I'm casually standing beside a barn. Well, let me tell you, it is so windy today. It seems like that happens every time I want to shoot. So this is kind of acting as a windshield and, you know, rustic look. Okay, this morning I mentioned we'd be talking about harsh lighting, how to shoot in harsh light, how to shoot in midday light. This is part 2 of the vlog series that I started last week about how to choose your perfect photo shoot location. Now that's all great and dandy if you can choose your photo shoot location, if you can choose and have the luxury to shoot at golden hour. Let's be honest, we can't always shoot at golden hour. So this tutorial is to help you shoot at any time of day if you're forced to shoot at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon like it is now for me. So let's just start off by defining harsh light. Harsh lighting for me is basically the worst time of day. So like I said, 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, when the shadows are strong, when the sun is high in the sky, basically when it's too bright to shoot in an open field without either a diffuser or something diffusing the light or an external light source. And it also makes people all squinty because it's so bright people can't keep their eyes open. So now that I've defined harsh lighting or bad lighting for my style, let's just define good lighting really quick. Good lighting for me is basically the opposite of harsh light. It's soft light, soft shadows, and soft skin tones. And I can get those on a cloudy day or at golden hour, blue hour, sunset, or sunrise. Okay, now that we have all those boring definitions out of the way, let me share with you my 4 tips on how to shoot in midday light, how to shoot in harsh light if I'm forced to. For example, on a wedding day, sometimes you have no choice and that's fine. I can still keep my soft style and shoot in midday. You just need to know how. So the very first thing I do is I look for light over location. If I'm stuck shooting in midday, I'm gonna be looking for soft light. I'm gonna be looking for shade and places where the light is diffused even before I focus on what the backdrop is going to be, because in this situation the light is a lot more important than what's in the background. Alright, tip number 1, the first thing I look for is either diffused light or good shade. And I say good shade because I don't look for any kind of shade. I look for shade that has natural reflector abilities. For example, if I place my couple along a wall of a building, if that building is between 2 buildings, then it just creates like a dark hole. I have no available light. So when I place my couple in shade, I still want to be able to have some light shining in order for them to still have bright and soft skin tones. When you're looking for diffused light or shade, you also want to be careful about what the light is coming through. So for example, it might be shaded in a forest or under a thick cover of trees, but then you're going to be getting all that green from the leaves shining through, and then your skin tones are all going to be green and yellow, and that's super hard to fix afterwards in post. So a way to work around that, if you still want the greenery around in your photos, bring your couple outside of those trees while still having the shade. And if you have, for example, a sidewalk in front of them, that sidewalk, that cream or light colored sidewalk, is actually going to reflect that light back up onto your couple's faces, eliminating that green cast, and so you still have the greenery in the background, you have the shade or the diffused light coming in from the trees, but then you have that sidewalk bouncing clean white light back up onto their faces. Okay, I just mentioned natural reflectors. That brings me to point number 2, is look for natural reflectors in the environment. So for example, a sidewalk is going to be a great natural reflector. A wall across the street that's white is going to be a great natural reflector. A natural reflector is anything that's light or neutral colored that will pick up the light, bounce the sunlight back up onto your couple's faces. And because the light is bounced off something else, it'll be soft, it'll be creamy, and you'll still get that nice skin color and glow. Okay, third thing is place the sun behind your couples. The reason why we want to place the sun behind our couples is because then that means if the sun is behind them, their faces are going to be in the shade and they're not going to be looking directly in the light, so they won't have squinty eyes. You'll also be getting that nice glow, that nice rim light that we love about shooting at golden hour. So believe it or not, the sun is only actually directly above us for about 15 to 20 minutes in a day. So after that, the sun's either going to be to the west or to the east a little bit. And even though you might not be able to tell by looking up into the sky, you can tell by just looking down at your shadow. You can just make sure to place the shadow in front of your couples. Another great way to tell where the sun's going to be is to just use an app or an online tool. I use that if I want to plan the shoot ahead of time to know where I'm going to be able to place my couples, and I'll show you a little bit more of those tools when I get back inside at my desk. Okay, tip number 4, if all else fails, if you can't place the sun behind them because it's a parking lot or it's the most horrible backdrop, if you can't find natural reflectors, if you can't do any of all that stuff, you could use the tallest person of the two to create shade for the other. Yeah, this just works if you're shooting 2 people, but usually for weddings and engagements and portrait sessions, that's what we're doing. So basically, if you're shooting at the angle to the sun, you'll be placing the tallest person in order to create shade onto the other person's faces. So if they're facing each other, the tallest person is shaded because the sun is behind them, and then the person facing the sun is also in the shade because this tallest person is creating shade on them. Okay, I've given you my 4 tips. Now, here are just a few things to watch out for. Watch out for backgrounds that are so much brighter than your couple. So yeah, you could place your couple in the shade, but if everything else behind them is in the bright, bright sun, especially if it's a lake or something that's light colored and reflecting the light, that's just gonna be so overexposed because basically you're exposing for your couple's skin and then everything else in the back is gonna be overexposed. One way to compensate for that is by using an external light or reflector to balance those 2 exposures out, but that's for a whole nother lesson. Second tiny little thing to watch out for is spotty light. If you place your couple under a tree, you might get great shade there, but just watch out for the leaves moving around, creating spaces for the sunlight to shine in, creating spots of light on their faces. That's basically impossible to edit out afterwards, and it just makes the skin tones less soft and the light less soft. And all in all, after all this, the last thing to remember is harsh light, midday light isn't always a bad thing. You just gotta know how to work with it. If you're confident to work around it, you can always jump into the full sun for a few photos and try it out. Who knows, it might end up being your favorite photo. Back in the house now at my desk, I can show you those 2 tools that I mentioned earlier. The first one is the website that I use very often, and that helps me plan my shoots. It helps me figure out where the sun is going to be at what times. And the second one is the app that I use on my smartphone, and it basically shows the same kind of information, different options too, and that's great if you're on the go and you want to figure out where the sun's going to be. First tool that I use is timeanddate.com. So the first thing you're going to do for the sun, you're going to go under the Sun and Mood tab, Sun Calculator, enter the city where you're going to be shooting. I'm in Edmonton, Alberta. And here you can tell what the info is for today. It's October 27th, 10 a.m. on the dot. And if you scroll down, you're now able to see the whole month of October. You can check any other month. You can have any other year. You could check when you want to shoot in 2037 if you really want to. So I'm just going to pretend that I have a shoot this afternoon. So I'm going to click on today's date. And then the first thing you see here is this little graph. This is what's really important to me. And the meridian is where the sun is directly above us. The sun will be at its peak at 1:17 p.m. or 180 degrees south. So that just tells me that if it's before 1:17, the sun is going to be to the east, and if it's after 1:17, the sun will be to the west. So that just helps me to be able to know where I'm going to be able to place my couple to have the sun behind them, depending on the time of day. And then if you scroll across this little graph here with the little sun drawing, you're able to see how high the sun is going to be in the sky, and it also tells you the sun is setting at 6:10 p.m., the sun is rising at 8:24 a.m., and that's just a whole bunch of important information for you to plan your next shoot. Okay, next tool I'm going to show you is the app called Sun and Moon. When you first open it, it opens on the compass. So the compass is really useful because then you can easily tell where the sun is going to be, but it also shows you numbers along the compass in yellow circles, and these are now from 9 to 18. So that's basically telling you where the sun is going to be from 9 o'clock to 6 p.m. And so if I turn my compass, I can see, okay, the sun is going to be in this direction at 13, which is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I know that if I'm standing in the park where I want to be shooting, I can then know that the sun is going to be that way. Another cool thing on this app, if you go in the menu, you can go under Tools, Blue and Golden Hour. Now, I assume there are more options if you update to the Pro version. I haven't done that yet because this has everything I need for now. But then it just shows you the blue and golden hour. Basically, they call blue hour the golden hour version of the morning, and then sunset is golden hour. So 41 minutes for blue hour this morning and 47 minutes for golden hour this afternoon. So it starts at this time and it ends at this time. Another really neat tool is the augmented reality. So that is going to enable your camera on your phone, and then you can place it. See, like right now I'm sitting in front of my desk. I can place it, point it in the direction I want, and it'll actually show me where the sun's going to be looking through your camera. So this is just an added really cool little tool. It helps you visualize where the sun is going to be if you have a hard time doing that just by using the compass. And then last but not least, my very favorite tool is called Sun Positions. That is really cool because it shows you on a map. It shows you arrows of where the sun is coming and then where it's going to be at these hours of the day. You can zoom out, you can enter locations. You can find any location you want, like now I'm driving to Jasper, and here we go. Now I can tell where the sun is going to be coming from. If I was standing in Jasper in one of my favorite spots here, Old Fort Point, and there you go. Now I know where the sun's going to be coming in if I want to shoot at certain times of day. Alright guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found these tips useful. I hope you'll be able to put them into action the next time you have to shoot in midday light. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel so you'll be able to stay up to date on all the future videos. Comment below, leave me your questions, I'd be happy to lend a hand. And I'd also love to see what you create using these tips. So tag me on Instagram, tag me on Facebook. I'd love to take a peek, give you a like, give you a follow. So until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.